Tonight, a former Springfield inmate tells us he's concerned about what's going on at Southern State. This as advocates with prisoners' rights groups are planning a rally at the State House to bring attention to a rising number of deaths at the facility. ABC 22's Matt Holderman now has details.
Well, it was close to 2 weeks ago that workers at Southern State Correctional Facility found 46-year-old David Mitchell dead in his cell, the sixth Vermont Department of Corrections inmate to die this year. State police and the DOC say Mitchell had complained of breathing issues the morning of his death and received some help, but in the weeks since, VT Digger has reported other prisoners who were near Mitchell around the time of his death say that corrections officers did not take many of his requests for help seriously and even told him he'd be sent to segregation if he kept complaining. I spoke with a former Southern State inmate who says he experienced similar neglect at the prison on multiple occasions.
We have all the empirical data we need to prove that this system is broken.
The former inmate says Vermont corrections officers have been neglecting the medical needs of inmates for years and says he was a victim. He asked us to keep his identity anonymous since he's still under DOC supervision.
Something needs to happen. They need to be audited, like for real, not by the same person who keeps saying that everything's fine, because it's not.
The former inmate told us while he was in care of the DOC, he had 2 types of skin cancers, but received treatment he says was far less adequate than what he got outside of prison. He says he has since been diagnosed with a nervous system disorder, and he believes he could be much further along with treatment if he'd received better care in prison.
I had health issues that I had been trying to address for quite some time. This should have been addressed, could have been addressed, and could have at least been mitigated while I was incarcerated.
And it's not just the inmate we spoke with who complains of medical treatment in state correctional facilities. A 2022 prison climate survey conducted by the University of Vermont's Justice Research Initiative asked inmates to agree or disagree with this statement. I get the medical treatment I need in this prison when I need it. 53% strongly disagreed, with another 30% also saying they disagreed. These numbers, on top of the high number of deaths, motivated a prisoners' rights group called Vermont Just Justice to schedule a rally at the State House this coming Thursday to bring the issue to the attention of lawmakers. I spoke with one member of the group anonymously who says they have a loved one who's incarcerated and they want to ensure the health needs of all inmates are being met.
He's 70 years old and I see people dying and it's very nerve-wracking. We just want to know that people are in there that are in prison are having their healthcare needs met, period. And we feel like they are absolutely not.
We reached out to the DOC for comment on all of this, but have not yet heard back. Matt Holderman, ABC 22 News.